Hey guys, I didn't have an intro for this video I'm about to show, so you can stare at me for a whole 60 seconds. But I wanted to show an episode from a psychologist, the true definition of gaslighting, not the definition that Trisha Paytas has been throwing around, that Ethan gaslights her, Ethan does this, Ethan does that, everything's about gaslighting. This is the true definition of gaslighting, and you will see that he is not doing that to her. I will also link the episode of his in the description box so you can go watch the whole episode of him analyzing that moment and give him credit for, this is his definition, what he said. But I just wanted to hop on and let you know. Enjoy it.
It's not a good idea to tell people what they feel, even if you're probably right. It's just not a polite thing to do. People don't like to be told. It's like when you're worked up and someone says, calm down. It doesn't usually help. Now, I want to talk about this word gaslight. You've heard me talk about this before. We've been using this term in the clinical world for decades. And the definition is when someone goes on a campaign, a knowing, volitional campaign, to undermine someone's ability to trust their own judgment of things. The classic example comes from the movie and the play Gaslight from the 30s and 40s in the United States, in which an individual is trying to essentially drive his partner or his wife crazy by moving furniture around and claiming, and then she would walk in, she would say, oh, the couch is in this other place, and he'd say, I don't know what you're talking about. So it was a very purposeful campaign of trying to screw with someone's mind and not recognize reality, so that the individual will actually start to wonder, wait, am I crazy? Am I going mad? Am I losing my mind? Do I have the ability to know right from wrong? Is my memory completely broken right now? Do I have a tumor or something wrong with me? That's what gaslighting is. And what this is, I don't think Ethan is doing that. What is Ethan doing? Well, I think he is bothering her. We could say that. We could say that he is trying to make a point. He's criticizing her. Because so here's the accusation. Ethan was saying, you're angry. And she's like, I'm not angry. And he's like, I think you're angry. And then she says, you're gaslighting me. Okay. So if we hooked up Ethan to a lie detector test that doesn't really exist, and we asked him, do you think that she's angry? I'm going to take a guess and say that Ethan would say, yes, I do believe she's angry, and I believe she's in denial of that. So to truly gaslight someone, you have to, on purpose, be trying to trick someone over time so that they will question their judgment. Hearing something that you don't like, hearing something like, okay, he's telling me I'm angry, but I'm not angry, and he's totally convinced that I'm angry, but I'm not angry, that's not gaslighting in the clinical literature. Now, in the broad internet, social, cultural world, if we all want to start using the word gaslighting in this context, that's fine. Language changes over time, but I will tell you that it will diminish and dilute actual incidences of gaslighting. We use the term in abusive relationships because there are relationships where, and I don't know, maybe Ethan is like this. I don't see the evidence of that in this video, but maybe it exists, where you have a relationship, often a marriage, where the abusive individual is actually on a campaign to drive the other person to a place where they actually cannot question, where they actually can't trust their own judgment. For example, this might be a little triggering, so you might want to watch this with care, maybe not watch, is you have an abusive spouse. The abusive person is really trying to diminish their partner's power and raise their power. They're really trying to make the other person feel powerless so this person can have control. It's usually attachment related. I won't go into that, but this person is actually really, really insecure. The power high control person is desperately insecure about they really need to be in full control. So they will tell the other person things like, you don't know what you're talking about. Or the low control person the abused person, the victim, will say something like, well, yesterday you said this, and the abuser will remember, yeah, I did say that, but I can't admit that, and I want to actually undermine my spouse's ability to trust their own memory, because that will serve my power purposes. So I'm going to say, I didn't say that. In fact, I have a recording. They might doctor a recording and say look, this recording says I didn't say that. You're crazy. There's something wrong with your brain. That happens. Gaslighting happens. I don't know if this is gaslighting, but if we want to change the word, fine, I'll go along with it. But we need to come up with another word that can honor what is actually happening in long-term relationships where that kind of high control abuse is happening, because that deserves its own term.